In this trauma-informed foundations video, I'm going to be talking about what is grounding. And before I do that, because this is a trauma-informed video, I just want to invite you to remember that if you feel any activation during this video, you can take a break at any time. There's no need to push through. You can press pause and you can come back and continue learning when you feel like you've got the capacity to do so. So what is grounding? Grounding is a way that we help the body come back to the present moment, help us feel our body in the present moment, in the environment that we're in. And grounding can include a mix of orienting and can include a mix of resourcing, as well as some other grounding techniques. So when you work with me, one of the activities I ask you to do is to complete this kind of well-being resource menu where we explore what grounding techniques feel really good for you and help you feel embodied and safe in the present moment. So it's not just about helping you feel calm. It's about helping to create that sense of safety, that you do have the capacity to explore the work that you want to explore, and that it is not going to continue to dysregulate you, that you have these resources. I spoke about resources in another video and what is resourcing. You have these resources to do the work and to come back, and to do the work and to come back, which is also known as pendulation, which I will make another video about. But often when our nervous system is in a survival state due to experiencing trauma or some extremely stressful situations, it can leave us not really feeling present. A lot of people come to me and they don't feel present, like they can't be in the present moment, and they feel like they're floating, or they feel numbed out, or they feel anxious, and the present moment doesn't really feel safe to be in. And so we have to explore these different tools and techniques so that you can feel safe to do the work and to have the healing that you are hoping for. So it's a really important foundation to doing the healing work. So what does it look like? Different grounding techniques. So first of all, you might think about grounding, you might have heard people talk about grounding, about going out into nature. And this is a fantastic way to ground. It's, scientifically proven, although I'm not going to articulate myself particularly well, but when we go out into nature, and especially when we connect with nature, our body can discharge a lot of energy and release a lot of stress energy into the earth. And if we can get outside and if we can connect with the earth by putting our feet on the ground, being in the ocean, touching nature, touching a tree, touching rocks, sitting on rocks, this is a really great way for us to ground. Now, when we're in session and it's not necessarily possible for us to do that, but there are some other ways that we can explore connecting with nature. So often I've got a lot of plants around me. You can identify and look at your favorite plants, or you can touch your favorite plants. You can have a plant nearby. Also stones. A lot of people like to collect stones and carry a stone, their favorite stone from the beach or from a trip, or a seashell or something like this in their bag or in their pocket. Obviously it doesn't have to be a big one, but just something, or a piece of wood as well, or a crystal. And this is something from the earth that you can touch onto and that you can hold, and it has a very grounding technique to it, a very grounding feeling. If that is not possible, which often it it might not be. There are other ways that we can ground. So we can ground through exploring our senses. So there's a very popular technique called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 sensory method. And this is where we can identify and say either out loud or in our mind 5 things that we can see, 4 things that we can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And really slowing down with that, allowing ourselves to notice our breath as we explore those different senses. Now, another thing I want to say about this is just because I'm talking about these things today, it doesn't mean that they're going to work for you or that you have to do them. They're just things that I have explored with my clients and things that I've also used for myself. The next thing is finding grounding in our posture and in our immediate environment as well. So helping to find our body in the present space. So a very quick way to do this is to feel the support of the surface behind and below you. So noticing, bringing your attention to the back body and how the back body connects with that surface behind you. And we always do suggest in trauma-informed work that you are supported, not that you are in this meditative posture where you're having to hold yourself. While there is use for that, we also want you to feel supported. We want you to feel that you can relax and be supported by the surfaces behind and below you. Let that carry some of the weight. Noticing your sitting bones in the chair or noticing your feet planted on the floor and breathing in, and on the exhale you can gently exhale out through the mouth if that feels good, or through the nose, either way. But on the exhale, having that sense of feeling the ground, feeling yourself ground down on the exhale. Another really effective way to ground is to lay on the floor. So to put your body on the floor, preferably a cold hard surface, but any surface will do, and for you to put your legs up the wall. And the point of grounding is for you to feel that support and to feel your body being supported as well. So when we lay on the floor, we are closest to at the closest point to gravity, right? So we can't get any lower, and we can feel the difference between the softness of our body and the hardness of the floor, and the coolness of the floor and the warmth of our body. And we can notice the difference in our body in space and time. And this is one of the quickest grounding techniques. It is personally my go-to grounding technique if I have experienced an extremely stressful situation or I've got some anxiety that I want to discharge. I will put myself on the floor, and within 5 minutes I'm pretty good to go. And I've experienced this with my clients a lot as well. But however, that it might not be suitable for you. This is why you want to work with a trauma-trained practitioner, so that you can explore these grounding techniques for yourself safely, and that you've got somebody to work with and to feedback with. The next way to help ourselves ground is to provide ourselves with supportive touch. So another really great grounding technique is to actually just gently squeeze the body, giving ourselves a really nourishing squeezes around the body. Not hard, but just a little squeeze, and squeezing into the thighs, squeezing all over the body can also be extremely grounding, helping us to identify, this is my body in this moment. Another grounding technique which I use on the daily is placing my hand on my heart, and also hand on the belly, on the lower abdomen. Placing my hand on my heart is extremely nourishing. I find it really, really nourishes and grounds me. It helps me feel connected to myself. I can notice the warmth of my hand, the weight of my hands on my body, which is extremely grounding for me. Also, gentle breath work. So for myself, and the technique that I often go to with my clients is coherent breathing, exploring equal inhales and equal exhales with my hands on our heart and hands on the belly, starting with a count of 4, inhaling and then exhaling to a count of 4, then up to a count of 5, and then eventually up to a count of 6. This can, especially if we're laid down on a hard surface, or if we're noticing the support provided by the surface behind and below us, whilst with our hands on our heart and our belly, and doing this coherent breathing to bring everything back into regulation, can be really nourishing. But breath work is not for everybody, and it is because sometimes, especially if you've experienced an acute traumatic event, exploring the breath can also be really activating. So that's why it's important to have support for yourself to gently explore these different grounding techniques and see what works with you. Another amazing, in my experience, grounding technique is to sway the body from side to side. So a great technique, which I do with my clients a lot, is to lift one arm up and place one hand under the armpit. Just watching my microphone here. And then place the other hand over the shoulder, and then gently sway from side to side. And if swaying doesn't work, that's okay. You can just hold yourself and maybe give yourself a little squeeze. Notice your breath. Notice the support. Also, a good grounding technique can have a good shake, or to push up against a wall and feel the hard surface of the wall against your hands and feel the resistance of the wall, can also feel it incredibly grounding. And so that's just a few examples of some grounding techniques. There are many. If you would like some support to explore which grounding techniques help you feel really well resourced and supported on your healing journey, please feel free to check the link in the description below this video. My name is Donna Louise, and I'm a trauma-trained somatic practitioner, a functional breathwork coach, a clinical EFT practitioner, and a trainee counsellor. And I help people to get out of survival mode, to restore their nervous system, and to reconnect with themselves again. If you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you've got any comments, any concerns, any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Please go ahead and pop them in the comments section below. Otherwise, take very good care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.